G'day folks, Dr. Zoe Mitchell here. And after more than 20 years working in general practice here in Melbourne, I reckon it's high time we had an honest yarn about something most blokes over 60 are too embarrassed to bring up at the GP's office. And trust me, I've heard it all. Just last month, a patient I'll call George came into my clinic looking like he'd rather be anywhere else on earth. This bloke's been coming to see me for years. Right? Never had trouble chatting about his dodgy knee or his blood pressure. But this time, he sat there shuffling his feet like a teenager, about to ask their parents for the car keys. When he finally spat it out, I knew straight away this information needed to reach more Australian men just like him. See, George reckoned he'd done himself a mischief because he'd been, well, having a bit of a solo session, if you catch my drift. At 68 years old, he was convinced masturbation was wrecking his prostate, draining his energy, and generally doing him in. Poor bloke had been worried sick for months. Here's the thing, guys. Everything our granddads told us about this stuff, all that fire and brimstone nonsense from the church, the old wives' tales from down the pub, yeah, modern science has completely flipped the script on all of that. And I'm not just spinning you a yarn here. This is fair dinkum medical research we're talking about. Let me break it down for you. First up, regular sexual activity, whether it's with a partner or flying solo, actually helps keep your prostate healthy. Think of it like this. If you've got a garden hose and you never use it, what happens? It gets all blocked up with muck, doesn't it? Same principle applies here. Regular activity helps flush things through, reduces inflammation, and studies reckon it can actually lower your risk of prostate cancer. No joke. Second benefit, and this is a ripper, it's brilliant for your circulation. As we get older, keeping good blood flow to all the important bits becomes crucial. Every time you get an erection, you're basically giving your cardiovascular system a workout. It's like taking your equipment for a test drive to make sure everything's still in working order. Third, blokes, it's fantastic for stress relief and mental health. We don't talk about this enough in Australia, but depression and anxiety hit older men hard. When you orgasm, your brain releases endorphins, dopamine, all those good chemicals that make you feel ace. It's nature's own antidepressant, and it doesn't cost you a cent at the chemist. Fourth, it genuinely helps you sleep better. How many of you lie awake at night staring at the ceiling? After orgasm, your body releases prolactin, which is basically a natural sleeping pill. Better sleep means better health, across the board. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, and yeah, this advice applies to the ladies too. I've had plenty of women in my practice asking the same questions. Female sexual health after 60 is just as important, and the benefits are remarkably similar. Improved pelvic floor health, better circulation, stress relief, better sleep. If your partner's watching this with you, this conversation goes both ways. No worries, but here's what I need you blokes to do. Next time you're in the shower or getting changed, have a quick check downstairs. I'm talking about feeling for any unusual lumps in your testicles, checking the sensitivity is still normal, making sure there's no pain during erection. If something feels off, if you notice changes, if things aren't working like they used to, don't be like George and suffer in silence for months. Book in with your GP. Your body's like an old Holden. It's served you well for decades, but it needs regular maintenance and honest attention. There's no shame in this stuff, guys. I've seen thousands of patients, and I can tell you hand on heart, looking after your sexual health is looking after your overall health. So take what you've learned here today. Have that honest conversation with yourself, with your partner if you've got one, and most importantly, don't let outdated myths stop you from living your best life in these golden years. You've earned it, mate.